It's official. I'm a Bitcoin owner. I actually bought the three current currencies that are on the Coinbase. One of the big things that attracted me to this is there's lots of, I'm 47, but there's lots of people that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, 60s, 70s that are totally resistant to Bitcoin. And we're in a changing world. The world is changing tremendously, and you can't wake up and say like the 3-year-old, a short 2, 3, 4 generations ago is like, sorry, one generation ago is like, hey, I'm gonna work at the mill, like Daddy works at the mill. I'm gonna work at the mine. That's right there. You see it from when you're 3. I'm gonna work at the mine, right over there. And our world is changing. That mine may be Bitcoin mining, figuring out formulas why we are contemplating our existence and going around the world thriving. Nobody knows what the world's going to look like in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Nobody knows what that looks like. So it's important to find new ways of doing things and not be resistant. And instead of fighting the waves of the new world, instead of doing that, why don't you get yourself a surfboard and surf this in. And I'm not saying Bitcoin's the answer, cryptocurrency is the answer. Cool thing that I do is every time I want to ask a girl out on a date that I just feel like I shouldn't be asking her out on a date, instead of spending $50 on her, I buy $50 worth of Bitcoin. So in a year, if there's $35, I'll be like, shit, I made out on this one for that $50. And imagine all the time as that desire that I have to date that specific one that doesn't really necessarily fit in what I'm looking for in life. It can have an upside. There can be a tremendous upside. A lot of people will say how certain of what it is and what it's going to do. We don't know. Nobody knows. The world's changing too much. But it also shows us how flimsy even money backed by the U.S., because the U.S. can print a lot of extra money. The U.S. can go to war. There's lots of shadiness, just like with Bitcoin. Governments fund terrorist organizations, all ones, even of the U.S. Bitcoin, yes, there's lots of bad activities that are going with it. For you can stay away from it. And actually a lot of that stuff's feeding it. Cool thing, there's a lady, the green-haired girl that's at every Starbucks, or maybe sometimes it's a variation of like different colors. There's like Starbucks must have something in their bylaws that they gotta hide. They gotta hire one person with green hair or rainbow colored hair. So the one, her name is Rachel, that's at one of the Starbucks that I know. She bought a cryptocurrency, and what that means is I'm 47, started investing in the stock market when I was 13. This week was the first time I've ever invested in currency. So all those years, somebody that knows a lot of things, I don't know much about currency. When the green-haired girl at Starbucks is investing in currency, and that was a tip that somebody else at Starbucks got. When most people don't touch even mutual funds. Most people don't invest in mutual funds. And something like this is happening. There's a supply and demand that's happening. And a lot of these cryptocurrencies are going to fall face up off the earth, but also a lot of these cryptocurrencies are going to have a tremendous upside, because that's one of the great things about that risk that's happening is there's lots of return. So I like Coinbase because as far as cryptocurrency, they have some conservative ones that still have a lot of upside and still have a lot of risk, but it's more consistent, because a lot of people are getting on Coinbase, which is an app that you can download. I have no affiliation with this at this point in time, but except for having a personal account that you can set up. So do it. come up with a cool strategy like I did with the dating strategy, and yes, that works for both men and women. So I'm not trying to push my experience on anybody, but just think of like people buy shoes. As I was talking to the first part of it, people put $300 into Nike and to some Jordans, and there's people that get in fights and everybody dies every time Michael Jordan comes out with another shoe. Why not just set up a little account on your own and see the potential of that? And part of it is like you're doing something that a lot of other people are resisting, and you're finding a new path, and maybe this will be a hedge for you for the changing world. This will be a hedge, something to counterbalance a lot of the things that are happening, counterbalancing the crazy stuff that Trump's doing, because it's the opposite side of it. And yes, like anything, do some diversity and everything. And yes, this is professional information, Jedi, but from a Jedi. This is professional information. I'm not going to say, hey, go and check whatever thing. I'm saying go for it. I'm saying don't go all in, but go for it. Don't put your life savings in there. I'm saying go for it. Just do something. Take a risk. And if it doesn't work out, blame me. I got a strong legal department, but go ahead, blame me. But my legal department lets me do whatever the fuck I want to do. So, that being said, Jedi Steve out, and no Jedis were killed in this video sequence. Thank you very much. Peace.